What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's get straight into things. So ideally you have watched yesterday's video and the day before that, just so you have a little bit more context on price and our expectations for the week. I am going to quickly start on the weekly, purely because you can see we're starting to trade back up into the range just as we anticipated, and I'm going to bring our attention to this bearish order block right here. So I'm going to get the opening of that marked out, just because if price does manage to reach up there, we can anticipate a strong reaction off of that. But yeah, let's go back down to the daily. Again, if you haven't watched yesterday's video, go and watch it, because I don't want to have to explain all these levels which I marked out. And the first thing I want to bring our attention to is the fact that we did successfully take out Friday's high, just as we anticipated. We've also filled in this nice fair value gap right here now. I'll just show you that right here. You can see that's been closed. So I'm looking to continue to see higher prices. So we do have this massive bearish order block on the daily, so I'm also going to mark out that. And this is where I want to see price draw towards moving into the new day. What you'll also find is that we now have an inversion fair value gap. And what that means is that price is delivered on the downside and the upside and closed on a closing basis. So the fact that we close above this inversion fair value gap, I'm now going to mark out the midpoint, and that's going to give us the lowest I want to see price trade in the new day. And then it should be able to use this as a springboard for price to start working its way up towards this bearish order block. So now let's go down to the 4 hour, just get a better look at price, and you'll see we had a nice large expansion from that gap I was talking about in yesterday's video. And look at this. You can see our volume respected the 50% level there as well. So we're starting to see this institutional sponsorship as in price. They're clearly wanting to send price higher. We're respecting bullish PD arrays, and you can see our volume is even respecting gaps such as these at the 50% level. So this is all lovely to see. Moving into the new day, you can see we have a massive 4 hour fair value gap right here. And if you remember, this blue line is that daily bearish order block. So moving into tomorrow, I would like to see more expansion higher, and once it gets up here, I then expect some kind of strong reaction off of it to send price lower. But overall, I'm looking for this fair value gap to start getting filled right here. Let's make this a different color. We'll make it red. We'll get rid of that midpoint, and then I'd like, once that gets traded through, the highest I want to see price trade is to this bearish order block on the daily. Another thing, in fact, let's just get that marked out just so we know that that's a daily bearish order block. Daily bearish order block. I'll put that right. And then another thing to take note of is this is also a Sunday opening price. So you'll see there's a gap right here. So this is a significant level in general. So I am anticipating price to want to turn around at this level. And what you'll find is that there's also a 4 hour bearish order block here lined up with that as well. So again, we're seeing layered PD arrays at this point. We've got a daily bearish order block open with this level, a 4 hour bearish order block here, and an imbalance to fill. So there's lots of premium PD arrays that I want to see price seek to fill before we see any kind of reversal. Again, I'm looking at this inversion fair value gap on the daily. We'll get this marked out as IFVG, and then we'll put daily like so. And I'm looking for this to provide support. So yes, price can come down to the 50% level. That's completely fine. Any lower than that, then I'll be a little bit more skeptical and stay away. But the fact that we've traded through it so aggressively on a closing basis as well says to me that moving into tomorrow, we should only like dip in maybe even to just the 25% level and then trade on higher to our target. So let's go to the 1 hour, where you'll see I have daily dividers. Absolutely gorgeous there. You can see we came down. And one thing to take note of, this is the institutional sponsorship I was talking about. You'll see how we failed to take out this swing low. The fact that price is refusing to take out certain levels. I'll make this yellow. So you see, ooh, maybe that's not the best color. I'll make it orange. So you see how price fails to take out this low. This is showing and suggesting to me that price, they want to send price higher. So they're refusing to take out any kind of sell stops. We're clearly taking out buy stops and running through it very easily. And you can see how we're finding support now on the daily inversion fair value gap. You can see the engineering lows right here. So like I said, moving into the London session, we may find that price simply comes down, grabs more stops, and then starts to offset them at the bearish order blocks, as you can see up here. But overall, price is moving just as we're anticipating. So it's looking like quite a solid week in general. We will go down to the 15-minute just to get a better look. You can see we consolidated before moving down in the New York session, where we got a New York reversal at 9:30. Found support on, remember, this dotted line is the Sunday opening. I can get rid of this now, and I can get rid of this. This is that Sunday opening price. We found support, and you can see how that sent price higher. So now I'm simply watching this high right here because it's going to act as a breaker. So we've got a low, a high, a lower low, and then price is broken higher. So as soon as price returns back to this 50% level and this up close candle, I'd like to think that will give us opportunity for longs up into this daily bearish order block. Now, don't get me wrong, price can, if it's, depending on how bullish we are, we may not even bother come back down into this inversion fair value gap, and price may simply just wander on higher, and that's completely fine if it does. But overall, I'm looking for this as a target, and as soon as any kind of bullish PD arrays form, such as a bullish order block, I'm looking for buys on dollar with shorts on the pairs, obviously, as we get back into this consolidation. So yeah, hope that all makes sense, guys. That's what I'm looking for. We do have this swing high, and you remember at the beginning of this video, I marked out this weekly bearish order block. Now, price can technically, you know, if we're very bullish, it will go for these highs, and it'll be nice if it does, but I'm not really concentrating on this until we've reached this. So this is obviously my first target. I want to see how we respond to that, and if we still see, you know, a bullishness and, you know, a willingness to want to go higher, then and only then will I target these highs, but I'm not exactly rushing to these highs. Purely because we have these daily bearish order blocks right here to face first. So that's pretty much how I'm looking at price. Let's now go to GBP USD. We'll start on the daily, and you'll see I did enter a short position here and exit down below the sell side liquidity. This was from Monday. We traded into a breaker, and I had these sell stops. I did draw all our attention to this throughout the week, so this would have been a nice trade for you guys to have got in on. But I am just going to get rid of these for now. Let's now go to the daily and have a look at price. So this was that fair value gap I was talking about, and you can see how we traded quite aggressively through that to the downside. We failed to reach the 50% level. We actually traded to the 25% level. Now, my precision in terms of recognizing 25% level versus 50% level, that's something I'm working on myself. But the fact that we failed to reach the 50% level and traded to the 25% level shows a strong level of bearishness. So as price was trading up into that and we got the reversal, that would have been a nice signal to expect lower prices, which is what we saw on the Tuesday. So let's go down to the 4 hour, and you see how we traded up into a bearish order block and then delivered nicely, closing in that fair value gap. And then we had a continuation, and now you can see we're running in towards this wick. So now, again, if you've watched my videos this week, you'll know I brought our attention to this sell side liquidity below this low. I'm looking for price to start drawing its way down towards that. But obviously, you can see we have this long 4 hour wick right here. So I'm definitely going to mark out the 50% level of this. And what price should do, ideally, is use this as like a barometer for price. So as we get through it, I want to see it treat it as resistance to help send it down to the next level, which will obviously be these lows. So definitely keep an eye on this 50% level. We may find some resistance, but ideally we do just see a continuation lower and we start running for the sell side liquidity. Furthermore, we do have interest rates on Thursday. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I'm not sure how much movement we're going to get. But overall, if we haven't got to this sell side by Thursday, then I'm guessing that's when they're going to want to send price lower to rush towards that sell side liquidity. Now, why this low specifically? Well, if we go to the weekly, you'll find that this is a weekly low, making it a significant low. So that's the reason I have this low marked out and not necessarily just this swing low. Let's now go to the 4 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour, and you'll see I got my daily dividers. Beautiful day, traded higher. Classic New York reversal. I wasn't in the chart today, unfortunately. Bearish order block. And then you can see since we broke down, breaker entry here, high, low, higher, high. So as soon as price traded back into this bearish order block, that would have been a shorting opportunity with the expectation, of course, to run for these lows. Now, you can see how weak price is being, and I wouldn't be surprised if moving into the new day, we do, as I like to say, just fall straight out of bed. And what I mean by that is as soon as we get into that London opening session, we start to see low prices. So definitely keep an eye out on this bearish order block. I'd like to think this can give continued resistance if we do trade back into that. But obviously we still have the Asian session. But overall, I'm looking for low prices during London and a continuation to the downside. What you'll find is that there is this 50% level from the 4 hour. It lines up with the bullish order block, so we may find some resistance there. But overall, I'm targeting that weekly low. Let's go to the 15-minute really quick, and you'll see our price is just consolidating right now. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Asia set up an easy session for London to just drop out and start trading lower into these lows. Assuming, of course, that that dollar does continue to show its strength and start trading up towards this daily bearish order block. So tomorrow should be quite interesting to say the least. Let me just double check news releases for dollar tomorrow. Bear with me. And yeah, tomorrow. So tomorrow there's actually not any news on dollar, but so we may find it to be more consolidating. But overall, our target is obviously going to be these lows down here. So that's pretty much everything on pound. Let me see if there's any way we can. Let's see. So if we, excuse me, we can also look at this daily range as well, and you can see that which was keyed off that 25% level. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, that's everything on pound. Hope that all makes sense. Basically, I'm not looking for price to retrace too deeply back into yesterday's range. So I don't think we've completely created the day range yet. Well, we pretty much have, but like the very highest I'd allow price to go is going to be this swing low right here. But ideally, price doesn't even get up there. Like if we fail to get up there, that would be ideal because it'll show bearishness. And then, like I said, it'll be easier for us to then target these lows, assuming we get through this midpoint. So that's everything on pound. Hope that all makes sense. Let's now finish up on Euro USD. We'll start on the daily here as well. Now, Euro's moving a little bit slower. Remember, I drew our attention to this fair value gap. Euro didn't respect that 50% level. It's a little bit more bullish. We traded right back up to the 50% level from Friday, which is completely fine. But now at least we know that we can look for this fair value gap to get filled on a daily basis. So I am going to mark out the midpoint of this as well, because price should use that again to key off of as we're trading lower. And if we drop down to the 4 hour, you'll see how we've now finally had a nice break in market structure. So we've taken out these lows down here, and on a closing basis, we can use this down close candle as a breaker, high, low, high, high, and we're now broken lower. So basically any trading inside of this range, and I'll just draw this out, we'll make it white for now. Any trading inside of that range should offer us optimal opportunity to look for shorting opportunity to basically fill this daily fair value gap and start reaching for the lows. And we have this bullish order block as a nice target for price. If we go down to the 1 hour, we can get a better look. Again, we've closed below, so we have a clear break in market structure. So we have a nice fair value gap here that if price does want to return back into, that will offer optimal shorting opportunity with the expectation to run for relative equal lows below here. So price is looking pretty clean right now. I do believe London's going to move quite a lot purely because of how weak we are moving into this Asia session. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And then yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So that's going to be everything, guys. Hope you found this insightful. Again, if you haven't watched yesterday's video, go and check that out and drop a comment if you got any questions. Click the link in the description. I've got a new mailing list that's going to start. I'm going to start posting newsletters, so definitely add your email to that mailing list. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you in the next one.